Out of the Frying Pan by Monica Lerato, published by Creativity Defined in 2022. This is a work of fiction. Similarities to real people, places, or events are entirely coincidental. Chapter 1. Oh no. Leandra startled awake, her hand automatically going to her stomach, as if she could feel the fetus growing in there. She couldn't. Not even the butterfly fluttering that had alerted her to the little tyke's presence 3 days ago and prompted her to do a pregnancy test. She sat up in bed, staring blearily at nothing. 10 months she'd been living in this hellhole of a group home, and now the icing on the cake, she was about to have Damon Rogers' baby. It had started 3 months ago. She would be lying in bed when the cover would be lifted and a warm muscled body would cover hers, penis poking at her ass. She could have called out, maybe, or screamed, but she knew, even then, that nobody was touching Damon. His father was head of department at CPS. He was designated as a volunteer, but he was more like a predator, using the home as his personal hunting ground. He'd come to her 3 months ago with a proposition. Leandra's sister, Josephine, was just 13 years old, with breasts just beginning to shape her muslin dresses. He whispered in Leandra's ear, told her how delicious looking Josephine was, how he'd like to hold her down and introduce her to the wonders of womanhood. Leandra had screamed, hit out at him, kicked his shins, and all he'd done was laugh. "I'll report you," Leandra threatened. "Try it. See who'll believe you," he smirked. "I'll kill you." He laughed. "You can't even kick my shins properly." "What do you want?" she screamed at him at last. "You don't want me to fuck your sister. Well then, you spread your legs for me, Leandra." The explosive sound of her hand on his cheek startled even Leandra. "Is that a no?" Damon asked, even as his cheek reddened and swelled. "Fuck you," Leandra said. "That's exactly what I said." Leandra sighed, knowing that she had no choice. Her one request: "Please use condoms. I don't want to contract your venereal diseases." Now here she was, pregnant with his child, because he was a motherfucking careless idiot. Leandra grabbed the lamp by her bed and threw it across the room. They were only letting her stay at the home because she had offered to help with the housework, cooking, cleaning, and washing clothes, even though she'd aged out. Until she could come up with a stable home, they wouldn't let her live with her sister, so this had been the next best option. She was in night school, taking an accounting course and freelancing as a virtual assistant when she wasn't cleaning up after the kids. She had some money saved, but that money wasn't going to cover babies. "What was that?" Janice, the resident counselor, was standing at the doorway, eyebrows raised. "That was me expressing my anger in unhealthy ways," Leandra replied. "Want to talk about it?" Janice stayed leaning on the door, as non-judgmental as it was possible to get. Leandra shook her head, not trusting anyone who worked for Damon's dad, even peripherally. Well, if you change your mind, Janice said. Uh-huh, Leandra replied, standing up to go and pick up the lamp. It was her job to clean up anyway, so it wasn't like she was creating work for anyone else, except herself. The word abortion rang like a tolling bell in her mind as she picked up shards of the shattered light bulb. She didn't know if she could do that, but there were so many unwanted children in the world. She wasn't ready to give birth to another one. But is it really unwanted? A voice echoed in her mind, sounding so much like Josie it broke Leandra's heart. That indeed was the question. How do I sound? Is my voice sexy enough to read erotica? Please give me an answer.